Hello and welcome to this EU Can Beat Cancer EPP Group Instagram Live. My name is Jack Parrock. I'm a journalist and broadcaster based here in Brussels. And today we're going to be speaking specifically about colorectal cancer. It's European Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. It's the third most common type of cancer in the world, and it's also, sadly, one of the most deadly as well. Now, we're going to be joined by an EPP Group MEP, Antonio López-Istúriz White, who himself is a survivor of this type of cancer. If you want to have any comments, if you have anything you want to say, anything you would like to contribute to the discussion, share your personal experience, please drop them into the comments. And I believe Antonio is joining us.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you? Where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Brussels.
Are you in the European Parliament or?
No, I'm at home. I came yesterday from Madrid, my hometown, and it's different weather.
Isn't it just? Yeah, I'm in Brussels as well.
But okay, I mean, we will survive.
Yeah, exactly. One day we'll all be back out again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I hope you feel comfortable to share. I mean, I think we do quite a lot of these Instagram lives on beating cancer and the EU plan, but often the MEPs we speak to do not have necessarily personal experiences of it. So I wonder if you could just explain your personal experience of surviving cancer, how you found out, and sort of what happened in your life.
I found out I had a test, and because I was not feeling okay, suddenly I became too thin, and which I found it was not normal because I was not doing anything special out of the ordinary, and then after the test, I was told by the doctor, he was not very subtle, I have to say. And he told me that I had 1 year of life or 5 of recuperation. I immediately told him, let's work in the second scenario. And that was my reaction. And I'm a very pragmatical person. And I immediately thought about it, and I said, I cannot stay at home. I think that psychologically it's very important to start to fight from the very beginning and to work in the second scenario. I was lucky, you could say. I mean, I would be very lucky if I would have been diagnosed before, because I would not have to go through what I had to go. Several surgeries, some of them painful. And, I became conscious, and that's what I want to tell everybody, that, early diagnosis, early prevention is essential, because it could avoid you not only, of course, in the very sad cases, where, you are not in time, you could die, but also the cases, where you have to go through painful, also surgeries and actions. No, it's, I think it's better, I was 40 at that time. I thought I was indestructible, and I thought that that I should start at 50 at that time. They would tell you, no, start your test when you're 50 or 60. Don't worry, and so on. Okay, yeah, I had no antecedents in my family, so but this doesn't mean that regular checkups, it's needed. It's very much needed. That would be my advice on this.
So we'll talk a bit about screening shortly, but you said that you didn't actually catch it particularly soon. What do you think, if I know it's a bit of an odd question to ask perhaps, but what do you think helped you, were the big factors in making sure that you survived where others perhaps might not have? What happened in your medical treatment that helped you to overcome it?
First, I have to say I was treated by exceptional people. Both the doctors, the nurses, the personnel in the hospital in Madrid are exceptional, and they're doing this fight every day And what struck me most is that I was thinking, so many people every day with the same problems, and they're facing them, with energy, always with nice words. I was so, lucky to have these exceptional people around me during that time, and later on during the recovery of process. Now, this is essential. I think in many European countries we have this quality, this high quality healthcare system, that unfortunately has been overcome by the pandemic. But that's the thing that you always think, not because of this. My father was a doctor, so I already knew that these people need all our backing and all our support, not only during pandemic with applauses, but during the whole, during the day-to-day. This, I say, is exceptional people. Second, the psychological factor that I mentioned before. Always think that you are going to get, if you are on time, if this can be treated, that you can get out of this. It's sometimes a painful, long, process, but, you have to think. I always say, sorry for the examples, but I always thought I was like a co-pilot. There was a pilot driving the airplane. I'm a fanatic of aviation, by the way.
Okay.
And and I was there sitting, just in case, following the rules, following the instructions, and just to be there. And they, from time to time, they came with some news. We see a black spot in some of your I don't know how you call it in English, ATCs, scanners. Scans. Yeah. We see black spots and so on. Please don't listen to anything of that. Just you have to concentrate on the flight. You have to concentrate, in the ending of this and landing safely. I continue to work in the meantime. Okay. I didn't refuse as long as I could, except for the period where I suffered the surgery for a month or a month and a half. I always try to continue working. I didn't want to stay at home thinking every minute, every hour, every day, about what I was going through. Work, family,
that's quite difficult,
friends.
though, no? Working when you're going through that psychologically as well, though, to sort of.
It's so destructive. It's it's positive thinking. I believe very much in that. If you fail into a negative thinking, that will not help. I am a truly believer on that. Yeah. Positive thinking, continue work, as you will continue the rest of your life. There is an ending to this, let's say, chapter. I really didn't know if I was going to get out of this or not.
Yeah.
I thought, let's continue and nothing is happening, sometimes it was very tough. I had to wear several, disposals here in my body. It was not nice, but like, we are human beings, and we are tough. We are made of tough materials, and you get used to everything, and you get through. I even had a heart question during my treatment, because one of the treatments, affected a little bit my heart, and I was in the middle of a campaign in Spain, national elections, and I was in a press conference. When the press conference stopped and the journalist left, I turned to everybody and I said, "Please, could you take me to a hospital immediately?" I mean, you might say you're crazy, but no. I mean, it would have happened at home the same way. I was, I was distracted. I was doing productive things, and that's what we have to do. And,
I think it's interesting, because some people might not need that. They might need to close themselves off and focus on their recovery in that way. And it's interesting to hear you. For you, it was the strength, the focus, the determination. I think it's an interesting thing. But one of the things that's definitely, as I said, we're going to talk about is important is early screening. Now, on Thursday, we have in the special committee on beating cancer in the European Parliament a hearing specifically on the need for early screening. From your experience and from presumably the experience of, going through it, but also talking to other people, how important is early screening and how do we make it better than it is?
I'm a living example, like many millions, that screening is absolutely necessary, and I'm grateful, it was us, the EPP, that we, one of the 5 important points which we focused our campaign, and I'm very grateful for the leader of our group, Manfred Weber, to put this as a priority when he was a candidate to become president of the European Commission, to put in one of the 5 most critical points of our program, cancer. I've never seen this before in any program, even at national level, this was outstanding, and now we have these debates in the European Parliament that, I wish, specifically in my case, and I'm going to work hard that this no longer becomes debates, but also practical solutions in order to help, as I said, doctors, to help hospitals, to scientists, to work in the better way to prevent and for this screening. By the way, I think also today, health ministers from the European Union are meeting today, and they will have a discussion also about this. So good day for us, and for everybody who's suffering cancer,
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it, as well, especially when you've seen like testing centers for COVID-19 and the way that they've operated, and actually that perhaps society we're becoming a bit more accustomed to going in for these quick health checks. Do you know what I mean? That's actually something we could springboard on to the protection.
May I say one thing?
Please.
And one thing I'm particularly proud of, coming back to what you asked me about, those days with doctors, hospitals, and so on, my experience. May I tell you that so proud to be European? I'm half American, by the way. My mother's American. But, I thought I'm so lucky that I am in Europe because I have had all this exceptional care free. I don't know what would have happened with the same symptoms and the same, question, the same process in the United States. That, you need, a lot of money to go through and so on. Here in the European Union, you have this exceptional, people, structures, and everything at your disposal in many European countries. Still not in all and in the same way. And this is something that until now the European Union has not had the powers in the healthcare system to coordinate at European level, that the European citizen has the same care in Spain, that is outstanding, by the way, that in other countries I'm not going to mention, but that we have the same care, and the same facilities, all around Europe. This is what really I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I think especially it's bizarre, isn't it, when we talk about the EU and healthcare, because obviously it is a national competence. But I think definitely most European citizens just are acutely aware of how lucky we are for the healthcare systems that we enjoy in our countries, for definite. You did mention there, though, the geographical difference. Because in some countries there are much higher survival rates from cancer, especially sort of our eastern member states, especially compared to the west and the north, perhaps. I wonder how you think that we can make sure as a European Union to reduce that division in survival rates.
There cannot be such division. That's why in these kind of questions, like the pandemic, like the fight against the pandemic, like the fight against also, cancer and many others, we have to have a coordinated, relation, because being European means that you can have, as I said before, the same treatment in every European country, that you cannot have these differences. And this is something that only we can do it through the European Union. And it's time for member states also to start to share. we saw it with the pandemic. The lack of coordination, has created many problems. Like many crises in the European Union, you name it, immigration, economical, at the end, we only overcome this by coordinating our efforts. This doesn't mean homogenization, that, we have our different cultures, our different, personalities, but we in the fight against cancer, how cannot this be coordinated? And before everything, the scientific efforts that are being done in order to prevent cancer. This has to be, we have to make investment, not only debates. We have to produce money to give scientists the possibility and doctors and so on, to work in the prevention.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the scientific of the making sure we beat it, but also one of the issues and one of the big things in the EU Can Beat Cancer plan from the EPP Group is trying to help people that survive cancer, right? There's some real difficult issues that people confront that probably people that haven't gone through it don't think about, things like insurance and getting a mortgage and stuff. I wonder if your life has changed, if you've had any noticeable changes as a cancer survivor, and what you think needs to be done to support those people who have survived it.
I would say positive thinking, start immediately, as I went through, as I told you, with trying to maintain a regular life during the, let's say, some years of recuperation that I had.
How long did it take you? If I can, how long do you feel that period of sort of diagnosis to feeling?
I was diagnosed in 2011, and officially I was how do you say, clean up?
Clear. Yeah.
Clear in December last year.
Okay, so
I was surprised. I went to the doctor and suddenly, for my regular checkup and so on, and suddenly they told me your dossier is over. Okay,
so that's a whole decade, though. The best part of a whole decade. Basically.
Yes. Well, the worst part was the year after.
Yeah.
The diagnosis, with the surgeries and so on. Of course, that was the worst part.
Yeah.
Later on, it's just. Checking, and then again, psychological factor. Every time you go for checking, you cannot be thinking 2 weeks before, I don't want the checkup because, they can say whatever, and no, do the checkups. It's even better, they told me, no, but we have to do checkups every 6 months, now every year. And I said, okay, if I can do it every 6 months, the better.
Yeah.
Because I want to be safe and so on. And unfortunately, I learned it late and bad way. But, I'm telling everybody, do your checkups. There is no fear on that. On the contrary, you will, I understand the fear of, that if I do a checkup, psychological fear, no? If I do a checkup, there might be something negative, no? On the contrary, then you can fight it. Then you have time enough. Yeah. Many others didn't have time enough.
Yeah, this is it.
That is it.
So what do you think we need to do to support survivors? Sorry, I sort of distracted your answer to that. What do we need to do to help people who have come out of perhaps a long battle with cancer?
I feel that's an interesting question, because I feel all the good things I have said about my treatment, and so on, and many others have gone through also, with this exceptional, people. But after there is not, let's say, apart from the checkups, there is not really a following. There is not clear program. What do you have to do? Do you have to do more exercise? The only thing they told me, continue with your life. Don't eat excessively. Don't do this, the other. But just regular things. There is. I was not given a clear, let's say, roadmap. How to proceed. I would argue, I would ask specialists and so on to in the post, let's say, really difficult moments, if there is, positive, recuperation, to give people also this, not only in the health question, and you put it very kindly, also in daily life, that you are confronted. Yes, my insurance now is very delicate because I'm considered a risk. Although I've been recovered and so on, I mean, for me, it's very difficult to be insured because, I have that history in my back. And this, the computers do not think about. They just say, the man had cancer twice, double price, for your insurance or not insurance at all. No?
Where can the EU step in on that?
Something has to be done. Something has to be done. And this can only be done at European level because this has to be coordinated for everybody the same way, for all the European citizens.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's European Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. What are the specific problems with colorectal cancer compared to others? I mean, I know that this is what you experience as well.
In what sense?
I mean, what is it? Is it more invasive? I don't know whether it's something that, because it's in your belly basically, right? So it's painful. Did you experience lots of sort of, I don't know what the experience is.
No. It is not painful. Well, I don't know to make this public confession, but I started to drop little blood, and and that's when
that's when you know.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have waited for that.
Okay.
But I was 40, and I thought, I'm so strong, and life is, I have many years ahead, and so on. Who thinks in these things, Cancer. Oh yes, I heard about it, okay, but when I'm 60, I will do my checkups. Voila.
Yeah.
People, I mean, we have to be very, very serious with this and do our checkups, specifically if there is family history. In my case, there was not, by the way, there was not.
Mm-hmm.
I think that bad habits of life, I was not doing regular exercise at that time. Before that, I was eating disorderly, and I don't drink alcohol, but who knows? I was a smoker, and I mean, there could be many factors. Doctors tell you we don't know exactly what drives it. Maybe it's also emotional moments, stress in your daily work.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, unfortunately, I'm submitted many times to stress in my work.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, these are factors that could lead. But the same, is for the same for all the cancers. And then colorectal, it's not painful. That's the problem. There are no real symptoms, that warn you, that suddenly, I told you, I suddenly started to be more thin. There were several things that, started to grasp my attention.
But you didn't have like crunching belly aches.
More than me, that I was rejecting the possibility, my wife.
Okay.
My wife was essential because she was the one pushing for the checkups and so on. I was refusing. I said, "No, this cannot happen to me. I mean, come on. I mean, and several months passed until I took the decision finally, with disappearance of some blood and so on. When I took the decision for the checkup, too late for what I had to go through after. Not too late. I was very lucky. Miracles happen, that I'm here to tell the story.
Yeah. So just finally, I know, it's you've got a big morning, I suppose, working, but just there will be people either watching this live with us now or that will watch it on record, who may be going through a cancer experience right now themselves. What would your message be to them?
Fight. If you are already, diagnosed, don't get how to put it. I'm becoming a little bit emotional after that experience. That I'm sorry to say, like donkeys, like this. You go straight forward. Don't think about it. Follow the advice and the instructions of your doctors and the specialized people, that they are fantastic. Follow them and think that you can beat this. That maybe you were not fortunate enough, you were not serious enough to do your checkups before. Okay, that's the past. think about the future, and think about the people that are around you. It's not only about you. It's also people that, family, friends, and many people that, by the way, in these kind of occasions, you discover where they are. In your daily life, maybe you forget, but in this, we are human beings, and sometimes we need this type of experience to know, who are the people that really love us, and they take care of us. This is one of the best, things that I got out of this story, this reaffirmation to know with when you can count on, and the people that really are there for you. Said so, please don't despair. If you are diagnosed, don't despair. There is a solution if there is some time, whatever. Even if they tell you, they told me 1 year. They told me 1 year. Here I am, a decade after. So there is many chances, and there is today, the scientific advancements in the cancer, in the fight against cancer, although not enough, and we should invest and help more in that. And politicians, we have to do it, to be there, to support any kind of, as I said before, during and after cancer, treatment.
Antonio, honestly, it's been a proper honor to speak to you and to listen to your story. We've had a lot of people just sort of commenting, just sort of hearts and strong arms and stuff, rather than any questions, I think, because your story has been super powerful, and I'm really honored that you shared it with us today on Instagram. Thank you so much.
First time I have rarely spoken about this out of my family, and I think this is wrong. And I'm very grateful about this opportunity, because, I wanted to speak publicly, and to give, courage and to those people who are going maybe through that right now, and to tell them that, that we are there for them, and that you don't have to pass through that to be conscious about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm working with many of my colleagues in the European Parliament who did not pass through that, but to convince them that we have to do this fight together.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Antonio, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Have a great day.
Thank
Cheers
you.
now.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.